one thing I love about bass fishing is the places it takes you. It can take you to the most scenic places where even if you don't catch a fish, it's still awesome being on the water. The aspects of bass fishing for me is the fact that I can cast my lures into crazy places, and every single cast, the anticipation of, is there a fish there? Is there not a fish there? So you're always on the edge of your seat. You're making sure that every cast is the best you can physically do. So I believe the importance of accuracy casting for fish, especially like bass, is the fact that if you're not within a certain spot, you're not going to catch those fish. Like I can cast in the same spot 5 or 6 times, and I move that cast slightly to the right or slightly to the left, closer to the snag, I'll get the bite straight away. Now, it's not all about just trying to land that lure there. It's about understanding the rod and reels, having the right rod and reels in your hand to make the lures land where you need them to. You can't throw something big and chunky and expect to land the lures where you want them to. You need them crisp. You need to be able to understand the rods and reels, and obviously the lures that you throw as well. So like another thing is choosing the correct line class that you're fishing. I always fish a little bit heavier than what most people do. I think it's because I'm landing the lures in crazy spots. So I'm skip casting lures into crazy spots where if I do get a fish in there, I want to be able to extract that fish out. So I don't want to be fishing crazy 4-pound stuff. I'm fishing 12, 16-pound. So with rod length and reel size, it can vary in all different aspects of what I do with bass fishing. It's whether I'm in a boat or if I'm land-based. I chop and change. I'll pick up one rod if I'm making longer casts, so I'll use a longer rod like 7/6, nice soft tip, so I can get those long casts into the wind or wherever I'm fishing. And then obviously I'm doing little skip casts and stuff like that. I'm using a shorter rod, 6/6, 7 foot, that sort of range. With the reels, it's usually always the 2000 to 2500 size reels. I like the feel of that. The balance is well in my hand, and I get a lot more control. Anything bigger, it's a bit bulky. Anything smaller, I feel like I'm overpowering each cast. A way that I love to bass fish especially is skip casting lures. So with skipping lures, there's all different styles of lures that you can use for skip casting. Preferably I'd like a fatter body, usually rigged up on a light jig head, so it does allow the lure to skip across the surface a lot easier. Now the applications I'd use a skip cast would be to skip it up underneath trees, or to try and make the lure, present the lure as a fleeing or skipping prawn along the surface, or a skipping bait fish, to present that lure softly, get that little bit of a different reaction from the fish. I guess it's not a technique you're just going to pick up and just all of a sudden start skip casting. It's one you've got to practice. You've got to do a lot of time on the water to perfect it and to be accurate with it. It's dynamite when you can nail it. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. Landing those lures closer to the structure will equal more fish.